Hi folks, this is Don Schaefer once again with you. I'm excited to be with you again this week. I know we've been going through a series of different understandings, trying to get the, the understanding of how our life works, how we can get the best out of our lives. I know we're presently working on 30 days to a better you, picking something in your life that you want to see some change in, and then taking the next 30 days to achieve that. As we talked about the power of compression, how a lot of times what happens in people's lives, they're living life way too sloppy. They want to do things and achieve things in life, but they don't really compress any time to get it done. And when you get yourself in a situation where you have to get something done in a period of time, it changes the whole picture, it changes the whole arena of what you're going after. And that's where we're doing that presently right now, trying to get people to really step up to the plate and get things done. We've talked about how change can happen in an instant, how it's the way you perceive things in your mind. A lot of times people try to get their willpower and whatever working for them. They struggle with that. I mean, it can work for a while, but we're looking at the avenue where if you can look at something and see the benefits of it, of doing it, or taking something and seeing the repercussions of not doing it, and getting yourself a mental picture in your mind, it can change the whole equation. All of a sudden you've got a different avenue that's working for you, and all of a sudden inside your mind you're seeing the good and wanting it and trying to achieve it. And you say, no way will I ever want to get into the pain of not achieving it. I read an article on a guy named Scott Jurek, and this guy really, it kind of amazed me, this guy, because he's a runner, and I know I've jogged before and I've ran some distances, a few miles or whatever, but when people talk about a marathon, I always think of 26 miles. I'm saying, wow, that's a long ways. Well, this guy here is called an ultra marathoner. He runs 100-mile plus races. He's ran for like 24 hours in a race, and I'm saying to myself, how can anybody do this? There's got to be a mental picture somewhere in his mind where he is seeing something of great pleasure, of something that he's wanting to go on and achieve in his life, and it's driving him. And he's reached a level where he believes he can do this stuff, and he's doing it, and it just amazes me. But that's where, this week I want to just touch on an area called the two forces that drive your life. And there are two forces inside of us. Sometimes we don't realize this, but it's how we were raised, how we were born, how we perceive different things. For some people, it's easy for them to be a good person, and for other people, it's very tough. They're just a rascal of an individual. And there's forces that drive us. We sometimes need to examine some of this stuff and realize, hey, you know what? Maybe I need to change something here. And I know pain and pleasure sometimes are a ticket in this, because your pleasures in life are what you're attracted to, and what's painful sometimes you try to push away. And sometimes that's good and sometimes it isn't. Because if pain is something like going to school and getting an education, you don't want to push that away. You want to achieve that sort of thing. And if good is doing something that's bad, like getting drunk every night or whatever it might be, well, you don't want to do that either, because that's not good. And that's where, if we can examine in our minds and create pleasurable situations within our minds, it becomes a lot easier to go after things. And if we can examine pain for what it is. I know the Jewish nation, they suffered in the concentration camps. Well, they said, never, never, never again will we give up without a fight. If there's anything that ever comes against Israel, there's going to be a fight on their hands, because they have been to places and they say never again. And a lot of times in our life, it's got to be the same thing. We need to develop ourselves in a position where enough is enough. I'm not going to put up with it anymore. I believe that change can happen. It's my perceptions. I got to make the mental connections of what I really want. Because in the ultimate of everything, it's the way our mind perceives it is what we're going after. And I want to thank all of you once again for being with me this week. And I want to wish you all a great week, and I'll see you next week. Thank you so much.